So we have, for example, a group called the Aotearoa Liberation League.
You got there?
He struggles every time, eh?
And the Aotearoa Liberation League, here's just something that's posted recently. David Seymour goes full colonizer.
That wasn't recent at all. That was like from last year during the funeral in Opotiki, and David Seymour tweeted calling gang behaviour subhuman and some other white supremacist narrative that I was calling out. So not recent, nothing to do with current events, but...
Why do you think he's dredged it up?
I think he just liked the title. David Seymour goes full colonizer. He's like, oh, that's...
Woke language.
And they bang on. Now, the interesting thing about the Aotearoa Liberation League, fronted by a young couple, he is Māori and she is, I think, Iranian or Arab, some sort of Arab.
He thinks you're Golras.
Yeah, another running joke with randoms accusing me of being Golras and saying, shouldn't you be in prison? So he's just playing off that. But also just casual racism, you know, some kind of Arabs, all Arabs are the same. Who cares about showing them respect or dignity?
Shame.
And they are very earnest and do all sorts of social media. The really funny thing about the Aotearoa Liberation League, if you look carefully, it's a branch of the Waipareira Trust.
News to me.
News to me. I'm like, where's the evidence? Say, like, he said, if you look really carefully, what are you even looking at, Sean?
For anyone watching this and is unsure, we are not in any way, shape or form affiliated with the Waipareira Trust or with John Tamahiri or even Te Pāti Māori anymore because you used to be on their list briefly.
Yeah, and I never received any monetary anything from, never anything. Definitively, we have not received any money from any of these groups or their associated groups.
Yeah.
So it's baseless, and the fact that people still consider Sean Plunket to be some type of reputable journalist.
He has absolutely no shame. He's just willing to make up random things like that out of thin air.
So everything the Aotearoa Liberation League says is vetted and approved by John Tamahiri. And when I talk about the...
I don't even know how to contact John Tamahiri.
Yeah, I mean, we've never talked to John Tamahiri. In fact...
I gave him a hongi at Waitangi Day and then he just walked straight past me like he didn't even recognise me.
He probably didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, fun fact, we've actually spoken more to Sean Plunket than we have to John Tamahiri because we've been on his show twice.
Is Sean paying us?
Woo!
And boy, John Tamahiri, if nothing else, is a business genius. Don't forget, the Waipareira Trust is largely funded, almost entirely funded, by you, the taxpayer, through a series of grants handed out by a Māori-led bureaucracy in many cases.
Okay, just pause for a second. So he's trying to paint this image like the Waipareira Trust is receiving money from the government and is somehow funneling it back to Aotearoa Liberation League and other such things that help the Māori Party or help the Māori movement, right? He's not actually providing any evidence for this at all. But the hilarious thing is that his show, the platform, is mostly funded by this family called the Wright family, who receives almost $300 million in government funding every year into a tax-exempt charity, and through this super messed up loophole where they like sold themselves their own company and have to now repay themselves through a loan from the company's profits, they're now funneling over 20 million. Actually, the last year it jumped up from 20 million to 37 million in tax-free money directly into the Wright Family Foundation, where they then spend it on whatever they feel like. It's this totally shady thing, and then the Wright family funds the National Party, it funds the platform to sing the praises of National Act New Zealand First, and yeah, they like increased government funding by 30% when National came in. So there's just like, you know, donate to National. National gives them more, you know, labour shit too. They were funding them before, like funding private operators to sell us services. I mean, it's a bigger issue, but just the fact that they, on top of that, then funnel tax-free money to themselves, and that these are the people behind the platform. I mean, everything he says is pure projection.
It's a pretty bold case of projection, right?
Yeah. He And the people that fund him, the rich listers of New Zealand, because the Wright family, they're worth around $400 million. They're among the richest people in this country. I tried to find John Tamahiri's net worth to compare. It doesn't even register on the internet. That's how insignificant it is. He's definitely not a rich lister, okay? So these people, genuine rich listers, and we know that they collaborate with the other rich listers and they fund people like National Act New Zealand First, but also Taxpayers Union, Free Speech Union, the Platform, the Common Room, New Zealand Centre for Political Research, Hobson's Pledge, all these groups that then campaign for National Act New Zealand First. So what he's talking about, that exists on his side, the small centralized group funding this, what appears to be like an explosion of support.
And that's the exact type of stuff that we talk about. So I think he's seeing people paying attention to us and he's scared because we're independents. We can go there, we can say whatever we want, we can call out whoever we want. Unlike him, who's funded, who has, I guess, central funding, you know, who can cut their funding. And therefore, he is beholden to whatever it is that they want him to do. And we're the exact opposite.
So the Waipareira Trust's annual surplus, for example, for last year, was $20.6 million. And it's surplus, so it's a charity, but it's got a surplus. Don't forget.
Again, massive projection. Best Start, which is the company owned by the Wrights family that funds the platform, made a surplus of $29 million last year after they gave $37 million of tax-free earnings back to themselves.
The average pay packet for its executives is $500,000 a year, more than the Prime Minister gets.
Okay, so on that point, I did look it up, and according to this one article, they were the highest paid CEOs of any charity in the country. The next was University of Auckland at like $430,000 or something.
Right.
So
JT should be giving us some money.
I mean, yeah.
But that is quite a lot, and I would say there's no need for a pay bracket like that to exist. So
Point there, but we're talking about people receiving $500,000 salaries, okay, but his sugar daddy and their family is worth $400 million. We're talking a completely different class of society, something, no offense, but John Tamahiri would only ever dream of.
It's got $120 million in assets. That's up like $24 million.
please tell me you have the asset list for
yes.
the Wright family.
Yes, so the Best Start, the Wright family's company's assets is over $400 million. Wow. Blows that one out of the water.
Wow.
No comparison. And it's similar to the assets, the net worth of the Wright family, because they made their wealth through this government-funded charity. It's projection.
Come on, Sean.
Which is why the Waipareira Trust can afford to fund the Aotearoa Liberation League to simply parrot its political rhetoric about David Seymour.
For me, it's funny that he's accusing us, right, of receiving funding from the centralised Te Pāti Māori gang, because I think he just cannot fathom the idea of doing this just because you're passionate about it. Because he has sold his soul to these rich listers. He can't imagine that you and I would be doing this purely for the love of it.
And funny thing about Te Pāti Māori, you know, previously we went on the platform and we said we were earning about $1,000 a month from donations from the public. We're now down to about $650 that we make monthly. And that's because we never put the link for our donations out into the world. We stopped doing it when I joined Te Pāti Māori as a potential list candidate, because we wanted any donations that may have gone to us to instead go to power up Te Pāti Māori. And then of course we got involved in Palestine advocacy and we didn't feel comfortable putting the link out during that. But now, thanks to Sean bringing this up, maybe this is a good opportunity to put the link out there. For people that don't know, we are completely independent. You can go to Ko-fi and our account name is Aotearoa Liberation League. We'll leave the link in our description and on our link tree. So please come help us out so that we can make our content faster. And
John.
Yeah, John. Maybe buy me a weed eater so that I'm not breaking my back clearing all these damn gorse and whatnot. But yes, kia ora tātou, thanks for watching, and please, if you can, show some support. Kia ora.